PrizePicks is having a huge promotion. Every single day of the playoffs, one PrizePicks user will have a chance at becoming a millionaire. If this interests you, sign up using code NBAGoober for a 100% deposit match up to $100. Link is in the description. Sup, dude? The three-pointer is the most important shot in today's NBA. All you have to do is shoot a little farther out and you get an extra point. Dudes who can shoot the three ball at a decent clip are extremely valuable because they put points on the board and they create space for their teammates to frolic around. Look at Duncan Robinson, for instance. Literally the only thing he's good at is stroking that bitch, and he's getting paid 18 mil a year. It seems obvious how valuable the three-pointer is, but once upon a time it wasn't really understood. It took a while for dudes to get good at it and for coaches to implement it, but eventually it became popular. Back in the 90s, teams were attempting like 12 threes a game, which is nothing compared to the 35 they attempt now. One of the most important guys in the three-point revolution was the former 6'7" Indiana Pacers shooting guard Reggie Miller. Reginald played 18 seasons with the Pacers. During that time, he shot 6,486 threes. Out of that 6,486, he made 2,560. Good for a career three-point percentage of 39.5%. Out of the top 25 players with the most threes made in NBA history, Reggie is the only one that was drafted in the 80s. The closest guy to Reggie that was drafted in the 80s is Dale Ellis, who sits at 28. Because Reggie played back in the olden days, he wasn't slinging 10 threes a game. For his career, he averaged just under 5 3-point attempts a night. That sounds like not very many, but for the time he played in, that was like half of his team's 3-point attempts. If he played in the modern NBA, who knows how many threes he would have made. Many people like to call Reggie a 3-point specialist, but he really wasn't. The dude took a ton of shots from inside the arc where he shot over 50% for his career. The dude was a straight up shooter. Also, a lot of people have it in their head that Reggie was a lot better than he actually was. Don't get me wrong, he was an amazing player and a fantastic shooter, but that's all he really was. He wasn't a very good defender, he lacked in the passing department, and he couldn't really create his own shots. For his career, he averaged 18 points per game, made 5 All-Star games and 3 All-NBA teams. I don't mean to diss him, but that doesn't really sound too crazy. Before I did research for this video, I had it in my head that he was this superstar with tons of accolades and shit. But like I said, I don't mean to diss him. There's a reason the overall opinion on Reggie is so high. The dude turned up in the playoffs, and he's one of the clutchest players in NBA history. I was watching the tube and I saw a clip of Larry Bird saying he's seen Reggie hit more clutch shots than anyone he's ever seen. Pretty big honor coming from Larry legend. Reggie Miller was one of those guys who played his best when the lights were brightest. In the playoffs between 1989 and 2001, Reggie upped his scoring average to 23.5 points per game on 60% true shooting. In the playoffs, he had many big moments, one of which happened in Game 1 of the 1995 Eastern Conference semifinals against the Knicks. The score was 105-99. The Knicks were up with 18 seconds left on the clock. The game was over. Until Reginald started cooking. Dude drills a 3 to cut the lead to 3, then he decks a Nick on the inbound, steals the ball and backs his ass up to drain another 3. Just like that, the game was tied. The Pacers then foul John Starks. Starks makes a mess in his pants at the line. Luckily for them, Patrick grabs the board, but he misses. Reggie grabs it and then gets fouled. At the line, he sunk both free throws, putting the Knicks up 107-105. New York had one last hurrah with 7 seconds left, but sadly for Knicks fans, Greg Anthony didn't want to win. He really wanted to sprint up the court and fall. This solidified the Pacers' win, and the Reg Meister completed an impossible comeback, scoring 8 points in 9 seconds. I'm not gonna lie, that's hard as fuck, and he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame just for pulling that off. Another one of Reggie's big moments happened a year prior during the 1994 playoffs. It was probably his most memorable moment. The Pacers were playing the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. The series was tied at 2 apiece. Going into the fourth quarter of Game 5, the Knicks had a 12-point lead, and it looked like the Knicks were gonna win. Until, of course, Reginald started cooking. The man went ballistic, scoring 25 points in the fourth quarter while simultaneously talking shit to Spike Lee. He put on a show in the Garden, leading the Pacers to yet another huge comeback win against the Knicks. All throughout his career, he performed in big moments, earning him the reputation of being that dude. Of course, he had his moments where he choked. Nobody's perfect, but a majority of the time, he was a flamethrower in the clutch. Fast forward to the year 2000, the Pacers matched up against the Knicks. their best friend, in the Eastern Conference Finals. This time, Reggie and the Pacers were leading the series 3-2 and were looking to make their first finals appearance. They needed to win Game 6 in order to avoid a Game 7 and win the series. Good thing they had Reggie Miller. Like usual, the dude used the Knicks as a punching bag, scoring 34 points on a disgustingly efficient true shooting percentage of 74%. The Pacers won the game, and after 12 long years, the Reggie Miller Pacers finally made it to the finals. It wasn't a happy ending though. They were matched up against the Lakers, led by Bean and Diesel. Reggie played horrible in the first game, making only one shot out of 16, but in the rest of the series he played great, averaging close to 28 points a night. The series would have been more competitive, but the Pacers had one really big problem. His name was Shaq. Shaq bent the entire Pacers team over and pounded their cheeks. Diesel averaged an unholy 38 points and 17 rebounds, sending Indiana home crying to their mommy. Reggie's championship dreams were destroyed. 5 years later, Reggie retired as one of the greatest shooters and clutch performers in league history. He may not own a ring, but he does own the New York Knicks. That's all for this one. You can click right here to watch the video I made about Kobe and Shaq. Hope you enjoyed. Bye, dude.